Yipee-Ki-Yay, Mr. Falcon.
About monkeys coming after me.
Like recurring dreams?
Occasional. Is that recurring?
How often?
I don't know. I don't chart it. I don't keep a dream journal anymore. I never kept a I don't journal.
What kind of monkeys?
I don't know. I don't know monkeys. They look like monkeys. It's a dream.
Well, this is important.
Why is this important?
Well, because like
you're not going to get all Freudian on me or Jungian.
No. I just mean if it's like chimpanzees or gorillas, like that's terrifying.
Right.
Like you could die. But if it's a bunch of like capuchins,
what's a capuchin?
It's a capuchin. Remember Outbreak?
Outbreak monkey, yeah. Friend's Outbreak monkey. I know him. I don't like him.
That's a capuchin.
We don't like them in this house. Capuchins. No, they weren't gorillas. They're definitely some kind of chimp-adjacent creature.
Like a gibbon?
Gibbons are like lab monkeys, aren't they?
I don't know.
Jenny Starpepper and the Great White Gibbon.
What?
You got to see Paul. You've never seen Paul, have you?
No, I haven't seen
you
Paul.
would like that, man.
I'm sure I would.
It's a gem. That's
the one where
gem.
Is that Seth Rogen is an alien?
Yeah. Don't let that dissuade you, though. I understand, but it's also a Simon Pegg and what's his name? Frost.
Nick Frost. I do love some Pegg and Frost.
Yeah, it's a firm Pegg Frost John, and they're like British dudes in America, and they're going all over, like they're on a road trip, and they go to Comic-Con.
Roswell?
Yeah, partly. They go to Comic-Con in Vegas, I think, and then they rent an RV, and they're going to road trip to all these different famous UFO hotspots all around the Southwest, and they end up picking up an alien. And hilarity ensues. Jason Bateman's in it. He's fucking hilarious, and so is Saturday Night Live. This club has everything. What's his name?
Oh, Bill Hader?
Thank you. I'm not having a good night. I'm a little
Welcome
tired.
to New York's newest club. This has everything.
TV's Dan Cortez. Oh shit! Yeah, Bill Hader's in it. He's fantastic, and that little fucking
I love Bill Hader.
That little fucking weirdo from that old sketch comedy show, he's been in everything. Give it all you got. He's been
Joe Latrulio.
Yeah, Joe Latrulio from Boston 99. That's what
Brooklyn
everybody knows.
Nine-Nine.
God damn it! I haven't had my ration of whiskey tonight, so I'm out of sorts. I'm a little weird tonight.
You'd think you would be sharper.
No, it's my fuel.
It's your lifeblood.
No, it's my medicine. I don't know. attacking me in the night.
Terrifying, dude. I'm really sorry to hear that you're going through that.
I wonder if it's because I haven't watched Congo in a long time. I also watched a little bit of King Kong the other day. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Which one?
The shit one. The Peter
The
Jackson
Jeff Bridges? Oh, the Peter Jackson.
No, the other shit one. Not the one with Dwan. Dwan. I almost pissed myself laughing when we were fucking watching that one night. And we're like, is he fucking saying Dwan? What is he yelling over and over? So we looked it up on IMDb, and her name was fucking Dwan. D-W-A-N.
Yeah.
Dwan.
He's saying, do you want to come down from there?
Dick. Hey, man. It'd be like cool if he came down from there. Dwan. Yeah. What's your favorite King Kong movie? You like Godzilla. What's your favorite King Kong movie?
Oh, man. My favorite King Kong movie?
Yeah.
Probably, I mean...
There's not
probably,
as many. But...
No. The original's amazing, but like my favorite... I loved King Kong versus Godzilla, like the one from the 60s when I was a kid. Because it's utterly fucking ridiculous. It makes no sense, but... You know, when you're like a child and you see that, you're like, well, this is obviously the greatest movie ever made. It's absurd. You think like there's no way Kong beats Godzilla. It's giant monkey versus atomic fire breathing lizard. And you think, what hope is there for Kong? And then with one line of dialogue, they solve everything. They're like, Kong's really struggling. And they said, oh, but look, here comes a lightning storm. Lightning makes him stronger. And then
that's it. They just established that Kong is Frankenstein.
Yeah, they just
Sweet.
one guy out of nowhere says lightning makes him stronger, you know, and then boom, he gets struck by lightning and he's like fucking super Electro Kong after that.
Can he breathe anything?
No, but he has like little zappy taser fingers.
Shit, yeah, he does. Attaboy Kong.
It's incredible. It makes no sense.
I had all these memories in my head that I thought were the Dwan 1980s Kong movie, but they weren't. They were from Son of Kong. Have you ever seen Son of Kong?
Son of Kong's insane.
Fucking ridiculous clown show stuff. It's great. It's great shit. It was on TBS and all the time back in the day on Sundays and shit. Whatever. I don't know.
We had
like monkeys.
We had King Kong Lives too with Linda Hamilton. That one's insane as well.
Oh,
they give Kong a heart transplant. Yeah,
I remember that one a lot too. That one was on TV a lot. That one and Son of Kong. I had like and apparently I never saw the Dwan one because I barely remember. I watched it with my wife and I'm like, I don't fucking remember any of this except the boat. Him being on the fucking ship and being pissed.
Yeah. Hey, you don't want to put Kong on a boat.
And they basically did the same exact thing for Jurassic Park 2, and it was lame.
Yeah.
The T-Rex. Okay. Monkeys, get behind me. We're going to talk about something fun. We've been dying to do some kind of episode about music in movies. Yeah. And we're going to do a few of them down the road. But this is going to be our first. And what we're doing is we're each going to be picking our favorite and runner-up, our favorite fake bands from movies. Now, these aren't like real bands pretending to be a different band, or, you know, some band is in a movie and they wink, nod at the audience and call them something else. These are fictitious bands that never actually existed before the film. Some of these bands kind of went on to have pseudo music careers, kind of. And some of them had like a couple real musicians in them. And then a lot of them had plenty of real musicians behind them, of course. And yeah, there's more than I thought. And this doesn't count for like songwriters in movies and like, I don't know, like A Star Is Born That doesn't
Right.
count. It's not a band. You know what I mean? That's a
Not
whole
the
separate
same,
thing.
man.
It's a whole separate thing, man. So and all biopics don't count.
Like
Obviously.
Walk the Line.
Yeah, or any of that fucking The Doors. Because I kept thinking about like what the fucking music movies I've seen so many times. Like
A lot of them are biopics.
A lot of them are biopics. Yeah, which are cool, but we'll talk about that another time. Favorite fake bands.
Yes.
All right, who's gonna start?
You go first.
I go first.
I
Okay.
mean, or don't. Or
I'll
don't.
go first. I'll go first. Just, All right.
What do you got?
My runner up, I guess, it will do first. Okay. Pressure. I'm gonna go with Dewey Cox and the Hardwalkers.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. This one kind of walks the line because it's almost like a fake singer.
Ha ha ha! Walks the line. I get it.
But he had a band and they had a name, so it counts.
They had a great name.
It's also like what I like about good fake band movies that have like a full soundtrack. They recorded and wrote so many songs for this movie, original songs, and they're all genre spoofs.
There's a lot of material. Yeah, they
Man.
really went hard after like a bunch of different tropes, like just through the years, like all these
Yeah.
different eras of music.
Some are obvious ripoffs of specific bands or singers. Like there's a Bob Dylan song, and
The Bob Dylan song fucking cracks me
it's
up.
hilarious.
Just what you say, the mailboxes drip like lampposts in the twisted birth canal of the Coliseum.
Oh, can't you see him? And then there's the punk song. And then the early stuff is obviously Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
But then there's like genre. There's genre rips, especially starts getting into the 70s. And he has his Beach Boys era.
The
which is a
Brian
blast.
Wilson era is fucking hilarious.
And the same band, the same two. It's him and a two-piece. Just a guitar and a bass. And they're with him through all of it.
Yeah, they got a drummer too. Yeah.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah, and then they're right. Who's the drummer? Is Tim Meadows the drummer?
Tim Meadows. Yeah, I think he's in it from the beginning.
Yeah, but they're always playing different instruments, especially as he starts
And
getting
you
weird.
never once paid for drugs.
Not even once. If you could learn to play the fucking theremin,
Jeez.
we need like 100 more didgeridoos.
The songs themselves are are pretty good.
They're fun. They're a lot of fun, and a lot of them are like, especially the duet ones, are a lot of wink and nod sexual references, and
Oh my God,
clever.
let's duet.
yeah, they're clever. They're catchy, and especially Walk Hard, which is how hard it is to write, and we'll talk about this when we talk about another movie later. You know how hard it is to write a song. You've written songs. We both tried, for that matter. But to write a song that is not only a spoof of an incredibly well-known song, but different enough that it stands on its own and an audience can stand to hear it either in total or in part like 10 times throughout a movie without getting utterly sick of it.
And it's
hard.
actually and it's funny.
And it's funny. And it's funny to watch John C. Reilly sing it, which is pretty much any song. But yeah, that's hard. That's a hard thing to do. And they did it. And they also had a whole lot of other funny songs, man. It's just a great music movie. It's great if you're into music from that era because you'll get the jokes. Maybe not all of them, but most of them. And
Incredible.
The extended cut, can be torturous, but I love it. I love the longer cut.
I've never seen the longer cut. We got to watch that one today.
It's almost exhaustive, but God, is it fun? There's more of everything. Like there's not like one part where there's a whole lot more. There's more all the way through, and it's long, but it's fucking Dewey Cox.
That's amazing.
He got to think about his whole life before he goes on stage. Dewey Cox.
He's
I
got to
think
think
that
about his
every
entire
time-
life.
Every time I see someone like reflecting super hard in like a dramatic photo or scene in a movie, it just ruins it because it just runs through my head. I'm like, motherfucker, Dewey Cox. All right, your turn. What's your runner-up?
Runner-up? Okay. I haven't actually seen this movie in a long time, but when I saw it, I loved it. And one of the things that, like you say, about the hard walkers and the songs from Dewey Cox, it's difficult to make fake music that's also good and sounds
Yeah.
good. You ever
Yeah.
notice, like, you have a choice you have to make when you're going to have a fake band, right? Do you let people hear the music? It's the same thing you run into when there's there's movies like Rock and Rolla where they talk about a painting that's supposed to be like incredible,
Right.
And they do make a great decision of not showing it to you because it'll never live up to your expectations. That's the tough thing about fake music. It's just 'cause it's got to be good because you're supposed to like it, but what if the audience doesn't? You know?
Yeah, nothing's worse than if the movie pretends that within the movie everyone likes this song and then
But
they
you
play
don't.
it and it's fucking terrible.
Yeah. So, but that being said, there was a movie called Almost Famous
Nah.
that had a band called Stillwater in it.
Stillwater.
And like the clips where you actually hear the music, you're like, it's believable. You're like, this sounds like music from that time, and it sounded good, and it didn't like stretch the imagination that people like this band and I should like this band. It was just well done, and like I thought it was a very convincing fake band.
Well, that was what's her name from Heart, right? And Peter Frampton. They were behind
Yeah.
all the music for that, weren't they?
Was it Ann Wilson?
Yeah,
I think.
because wasn't she married to Cameron Crowe at the time when he
I
made
don't.
that?
That I don't know. I couldn't
think he
tell you
was.
that.
But yeah, that's because that's like a sort of semi-autobiographical movie on his
Right.
part. Because
Yeah.
he was a young journalist for Rolling Stone. I loved that movie so much when it came out.
That was really
I
cool
watched
because you
it a
thought
lot.
like you thought that could be you.
Yeah.
You know,
I
if you
did
just
end up
played your
working for a
cards right.
magazine in New York for a little while. It just wasn't
You
the
sure
right
did.
kind. And it wasn't the right era. Holy shit, I
Yeah.
missed it by like 30, 40 years. Hard.
Yeah.
The 70s, man. Whew, what a golden age for magazines and for Rolling Stone, especially. Jesus God.
Oh, Rolling Stone was huge.
There wasn't a bigger magazine, a music magazine in the world than Rolling Stone. And physically, there wasn't a bigger mag. Remember how big it used to be?
Yeah,
Those
it was pretty big.
broadsheet books, they were huge, man.
But yeah, the music that they put together for that movie, it was very convincing in a way that you're like, yeah, you know, if Stillwater put a record out, I would buy that record.
Yeah, and they had to do
Listen
the
to
same
it.
thing with Fever
I would
Dog
enjoy
because
it.
you hear that song like 5-6 times.
Yeah, it's got to stand on its own, and you have to be able to stand it. You know.
Do you think it makes it easier or more difficult to do a period piece and have all those reference points from music from that era to inform the song? Do you think that it makes it easier to write something like that, or does it make it harder because you got to make it sound like of that time without
I think
copying anything? You know,
I think it helps. I think it helps because, like, as a guitar player, like if you were to say to me, you know, Tom, write me a song, and you almost get like analysis paralysis. It's like well, the whole wide world of music is open to me. Like, what do I write? What genre?
but if I
How
tell you I want a
fast?
song that sounds something like the Bee Gees mixed with, I don't know, Queen,
Yeah, you know
that's
what?
a place to start, right?
Yeah, I think I could pull that off. Now, like, I don't know
Yeah, I
how
wanna
good it
hear
would
that.
be, but it would at least like, hey man, I'll
Let's
have
do
to
this. Let's
see
do
what
it,
kind
babe.
of time I have this week. But yeah, like to put constraints on something, it kind of like at least gives you a framework to stay within, and it helps keep you focused. Because I can tell you from experience, if you have no framework, you have no focus. I mean, it's really hard to just churn something out without any kind of guidepost to inform
Makes
what you're going to
sense.
do.
Stillwater definitely. That whole I guess there's probably at least 5 songs on that soundtrack that are Stillwater.
Yeah.
They're all pretty good. They're all pretty good. I used to listen to that soundtrack a lot.
It was awesome.
And they looked very much like a band from that
Yeah,
time.
they looked like they looked like they could have been like I don't know, like Chicago or the Allman Brothers.
Yeah,
or something.
I was just gonna say that it was like they were an opening act for the Allman Brothers. Is what when I see the fake pictures of them, and Frampton really did teach the guitar players the right swagger and shit.
Oh, Frampton was amazing. He was really good.
Yeah, good one, man. Good one. All right. So my number one then. Okay.
Yeah, let's hear it. I think I know what it is, but I can't wait.
Kind of locked into this. I had no other choice. It's Eddie and the Cruisers, man.
Oh yeah,
it's Eddie and the Cruisers. I don't know. Is this well known? Is this a well known movie?
I had never heard of it until you told me to watch it, and like this was years ago. Like when we first met, you're like, you ever seen Eddie and the Cruisers? I was like, no. Like what the hell is that? And we watched it together, and like, yeah, it's a cool movie, and it's got this. A very particular feel to it that I think we can identify with because it's got this like Jersey feel to it. And like,
yeah, it was filmed in Jersey. It's supposed to be like, I don't know. It's debatable whether or not it's a good movie, but I grew up watching it, and it's about a fake band called Eddie and the Cruisers from the 60s. You know, they were coming up in the 60s, and essentially the idea was, and this was when it was made in the 80s, when Springsteen was like at his zenith. So the idea of it is, what if there was a band in the 60s that sounded like Springsteen, but they were ahead of their time, and they were like this super mysterious, shrouded in lore rock and roll band whose beloved lead singer died right after their first album made it big, but before their second record could get released, but it was recorded, and the tapes were lost.
The lost material. Yeah, it's got so much mystique around it, you know?
And they talk about Jim Morrison because there was those theories that he faked his death that circulated for years and years and years.
Right.
Especially throughout the 70s and 80s, because he supposedly died in 1972. 71? And they talk about Rimbaud, the poet Arthur Rimbaud, who he disappeared when he was like at his most popular as a writer and became like an anonymous merchant seaman. And nobody knew who he was until he confessed his real name on his deathbed. And so they talk about it, and they're like, oh, and then it's kind of this cheesy rock and roll movie with all this shit behind it. But Tom Berenger's in it when he's really young. Mm-hmm. Michael Pare and Joey Pants. Joe Pantoliano? Yeah, man. And I don't know. I've never looked it up. But I don't know if that's my man's original genuine nose that he's got in this movie, or if for some reason he wore a prosthesis for Eddie and the Cruisers. But my man's rocking a huge, you can't really know it's him. It's a big old beak. It's a big old beak.
I haven't seen that movie since we were in high school, so I'm due for a rewatch.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little cliched. Some of the acting isn't so great, but it's it's kitschy. It's of the time, and the music is really cool.
What was the one song? Boardwalk Angel?
That slow one? Yeah.
Yeah, was that Eddie and the Cruisers?
Yeah. That was Eddie and the Cruisers.
I like that song.
Wilds, what the fuck? What was the popular one? Oh, shit. Dark Side. On the Dark Side. That song actually got radio play. And even a few years ago, you'd hear it on the radio every once in a while. And it was and I don't know, this might discredit this choice a little tiny bit, but not really. Because Eddie and the Cruisers, there's actually a real band behind it. And it was John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. And they were kind of a Jersey thing too. They knew Springsteen. They came up in the same area. They were from Asbury, and they still play around here sometimes. Well, they used to anyway. I don't know, they're old as shit now. But yeah, they are a really talented band, a tight band who played a lot of gigs before they did this movie, and they did a great job, like mimicking that Springsteen sound and vibe. And there's a saxophone, which really that you need a sax to sell it as a Springsteen sounding band. And
what was Springsteen's sax player? Was that Wynton Marsalis?
I think, was that his first name?
I think so. Did you ever hear the story of how they found their sax player?
I don't think so.
The lore goes that Springsteen was like
Clarence Clemens, by the way.
Clarence Clemens, that's his name.
Yeah.
He was in some club and listening to music, and there was like this crazy storm outside. Like it might have been like a hurricane. And Clarence Clemens is playing a saxophone, and he steps up and takes a solo. And as he hits the peak of his solo, the storm raging outside ripped the front door off of the club. And Bruce Springsteen saw that and took it as like a sign from God that like this was the guy that you got to hire.
The front door off the place, man.
He blew the doors off the place, yeah. And then he joined the E Street Band.
I saw Springsteen play at the old Spectrum before they tore it down.
No way.
Yeah.
I remember that show. I didn't get to go to that, but that was huge.
It was not the last, but the second to last show that Clarence ever played before he died.
Right.
So I actually was one of the last audiences to see them as a complete band. The original lineup, anyway.
They put on a hell of a show. They're like the ultimate performers.
And seeing them in Philly too, the audience, it just feeds it. Everyone who shows up to those things is a serious diehard fan, and he's got a really strong fan base around here. And this movie has its own little cult following, and it always has. And I had the soundtrack, man. I listened to all the songs like it was a real band, And I tried to listen to Beaver Brown Band's other stuff. No, not nearly as good. So. Yeah, that's mine. That's my number one.
That's a good one. Love it.
Sweet. All right. You're up, Coachies.
Okay. My favorite fictional band.
Mm-hmm.
It's goofy as hell. But when you talk about the fictional a band that's fictional carries a whole movie. A couple of the people in the band don't exist. But a lot of them do, and they're very accomplished musicians. They were session guys. They were great musicians in their own right, and they formed the backbone of a really, really good musical group that really just could have been a total joke, but became something that was just awesome and more than the sum of its parts.
All right.
It's the Blues Brothers.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
I love the Blues Brothers. God, I was obsessed with that movie.
When we were kids, even.
I saw it when we were kids, and I loved it. It was just silly. Because number one, like all music aside, it has the most insane car chase ever filmed. They wrecked like 400 cars making this movie. That's the one with all
the cop cars, right?
Yeah, it's just it's like Keystone Cops taken to 11. And it just total automotive destruction. It makes no sense, but like it was awesome. But
Can't believe Burt Reynolds wasn't involved.
Yeah, right. But do you look at that movie? That whole movie is a celebration of that type of music. And those guys embody like the blues. They are the Blues Brothers, and that movie pays all kinds of just homage to the giants of that genre. You have duets with like John Lee Hooker, that boom, 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 how. He's like singing that in Chicago. You have Aretha Franklin in that movie. James Brown has that scene in the church.
Right.
And then you go to that last scene in the big concert hall when they're playing the big show to raise the money. and you get to see these guys cut loose. And there were some like legends in that band. You know, like Matt Guitar Murphy was like an accomplished blues player.
Right.
Donald Duck Dunn, the bass player, he was a huge session guy. He played on just like hundreds of records. He's one of those guys that like you have no idea how many songs he's played on that you've heard, but you'd never know it. Steve Cropper was the other guitar player. You know, you ever hear Steve Cropper?
No, I don't think so.
You've heard his stuff. He was in a band called Booker T and the MGs.
Oh yeah, sure.
You know, like they had a song on the Fear and Loathing soundtrack. It was called "Time Is Tight."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember Booker T and the MG. Sure.
They had a song called "Green Onions" that was
Green
really
Onions. Yeah.
good.
They used to play that on the oldies station all the time.
Yeah, the guys playing in the horn section. You know, Cab Calloway was in that band. It was just
Jesus.
like a ridiculous.
And with all that, did Belushi and Aykroyd sing their own parts?
Yeah, they did.
That's pretty impressive for
they
a
all
couple
sang.
actors, you know.
Dan
with all those dudes.
Yeah, and they could hang. They could hang with these professional musicians. John Belushi was like a once-in-a-generation talent. In addition to being funny, the guy could flat out sing. And he had just like all the energy you would want to see in a front man. And Dan Aykroyd, and his like he's a weird dude, but he can sing and he can play the harmonica. And the two of them just like sold it as the leaders of this ridiculous blues band.
He can play the harmonica.
Yeah, man.
And he has that Chicago accent.
Yeah, it's 100 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, a half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
I
fucking
gotta
epic.
admit, I didn't get that movie the first time I saw it, and I think I watched it with you.
Oh, really?
It took me a couple times to get it, but I do now. It's okay.
It's silly, but it's also a love letter
it's funny.
to a genre.
Yep, that's a good
And
one.
it's infectious. You can't help but smile when you watch that movie.
Now they used to do that's of course it was that they did that on Saturday Night Live first, right? And then
Yeah, that started as a sketch.
and John Goodman joined them once, right? Or was that only after Belushi was gone?
We don't talk about that.
No,
one.
not
That
the
was,
movie. I mean on SNL. We don't talk about
Yeah.
the movie, but he used
Yeah,
to
John Goodman.
because that's why he was
yeah.
in the movie, right? Because he used to go and do songs with them on SNL.
Yeah, John Goodman can sing.
Yeah, he can play the harmonica too, from what I remember. John
He sure
Goodman's
can.
fucking national treasure.
Yeah, he's great. But yeah, man, I went
That's what
out.
happens, Larry. Oh God,
I went out and bought that on disc,
what?
Blues Brothers,
No,
just because that like you couldn't make that movie today. It's
No.
just there's a lot of stuff in it that just wouldn't fly, and like I couldn't find it streaming anywhere that I didn't have to pay like $20 for. So I found it on Blu-ray because I was like, this is one of those movies that's just going to go down the memory hole if you don't get a copy of it now.
it could. It could. I don't know. It's regarded as a classic. I don't know if that'll ever disappear. But hey, man, I'm all for getting stuff on physical media. I buy a lot of 4Ks these days, but even if there's a movie that I realize I would like to have anytime, like be able to watch it anytime, I'll just at least buy it on Blu-ray, because too many times I've gone to look for something and it's not streaming anywhere.
It's nowhere.
And you're like, what? So I guess I got to wait till someone decides to stream this fucking thing? I don't know.
No.
And sometimes you can't even find it to buy on Amazon, digitally.
Yeah, it's like out of print.
Sometimes you can find it still on the Apple Store, whatever they call it now. It used to be iTunes.
Right.
They ruined everything.
Yeah. That's
I
all
like
right.
discs, though. I do like discs.
Discs are good.
They're annoying for TV shows, but when you have a show on Blu-ray, there's enough episodes per disc that my lazy ass is okay with it.
First world problems, Dave.
Super, super serious. Yeah. All right. Well, those are 4.
And that was hard for me to narrow it
Yeah.
down to 2.
It's tough.
Because there's a lot of good ones.
It's tough. Let me run through a few of them because there are a lot of good ones. We're not going to dwell too hard, but
Let me ask you, was there one that you had trouble kind of cutting out of a top 2?
Yeah. Just for, I wanted to be witty, and I wanted to say the Wild Stallions from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure
Yeah.
because of exactly what you said in the intro. Because it's this band whose music is so amazing, it somehow literally saves the world and brings about world peace, and you never get to hear it, except like maybe a few notes.
Yeah,
Sort
and
of.
it's a good thing that you don't get to hear it because, like, I could just imagine you hear it finally, and you're like, "How does this save the world?"
It could never live up to it, and they do kind of play a whole song in the third one. What the fuck was it
Right.
even called? I don't remember the one that came out during the pandemic when everything
Face
was
the
weird.
music.
Yeah. I don't know. We kind of liked it, but we were so starved for anything new at the time.
Right.
I don't know. We'd watch anything.
But yeah, that's the pitfall of a fictional band is like the music has to hold up, and unless you have like legit musicians and writers producing that stuff, you're not gonna make anything good enough.
Yeah. But not being cheeky, I was going to say The Wonders from That Thing You Do.
Okay.
Because same thing. You know, they had to write an entire catalog of songs that firmly sounded like they were from a very specific era in music. And
Yeah.
and they had to have one particular song that you literally had to hear 12 times
To smash hit.
and not really, you had to not get angry. It was okay to be sick of it at the end because everyone's sick of it because, you know, flash in the pan songs are like that.
Yeah, that's how that stuff works.
And, yeah, I don't know. That's a good one. The director's cut of that movie is actually better.
I've never seen the director's cut.
It makes a bizarrely big difference, especially, I don't know, to me it really did. It changes how some of the characters feel, if that makes any sense. Like they add, like the main character, what's the fuck is his name from American Werewolf in Paris? The drummer. Shades. They add, I always thought in the original cut, I kind of hated him. Like I thought he was just like this big fucking dork. I just didn't I didn't get him. But they added so much about him in Pittsburgh or wherever their hometown is in Pennsylvania. And it changes how it just changes his whole characterization. It changes how you feel about him before they become a band and get famous. There's more with him and that weird girlfriend of his, Charlize Theron, when she was like super young and no one knew who she was.
Oh yeah.
That hair and more of her with the dentist, and it firmly establishes that he's a good deal older, like almost I don't know if it's a whole full 4 years, but he's older than all the other guys in the band by quite a bit. He has his own place. He's got a girlfriend. Like he's in a band too, like a kind of a bluesy jazz band, but they don't play much. Like there's a lot more backstory, and I just liked him a lot more. And there's a lot of little bits and pieces added here and there, but that was the big thing. But no, that's a pretty good music movie, I think.
Yeah, I liked it.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
What else?
I had one that I struggled to keep out of the.
I think I know what it is. Go ahead.
What is it? See if what is it?
Smell the glove.
Spinal Tap.
Isn't that?
Yeah, I loved Spinal Tap. It's like you said, you had to like make a bunch of songs that sounded like they were from a particular era, but in addition to that, they had to be funny. And like my God,
that's tough. Music's so good.
Big Bottom. The lyrics to Big Bottom fucking crack me up every time I hear them.
It's so hard for me to watch Better Call Saul and be like, yeah, that guy, he's the lead singer, Spinal Tap. But man, and a lot of talent in that joke band too. you know?
Yeah, yeah.
They go on tour, right? They used to go on tour and actually play a Spinal Tap every once in a while.
I think so. Yeah, those three, and I just can't imagine having to write all that stuff and have it hold up.
Yeah.
But and to do all that with a straight face, but like, yeah, Spinal Tap was phenomenal.
You know, I mean, he's a dick, but Russell Brand played that Alger Snow dude in Forgetting Sarah Marshall and then Get Him to the Greek.
Yeah,
And I think that he did a piece of one song in Sarah Marshall, but they had to do a whole shitload of songs for Get Him to the Greek. And same deal.
they're catchy.
They had to be catchy, and they really are, and they're really funny. Like, and lewd. Funny and
They're
lewd.
very lewd.
And then also a couple songs for Jackie Q in that movie,
Oh
too.
my God!
Talking about my asshole. Jackie Q.
Yeah, a ring around my rosy.
You know, when I was working...
So gross.
When I was working in New York, I had a horrifically long train ride every day, back and forth. And I had a little iPod, one of the... not the Nano, the one that was mostly screen before they stopped
Right.
making them, and it didn't hold a lot of albums. But I had the soundtrack from Get Him to the Greek on there for some reason, and that was like a comfort movie for us for a while. We would watch it on weeknights sometimes after work when we couldn't really think, and we're super tired, and we would just like eat in front of that in the TV because we didn't really have cable. And I would listen to that record on the train and pay attention to the lyrics and just sit there laughing like an asshole with my earbuds in.
That's funny.
No, some of them are really fucking funny.
I actually learned African Child.
Get the fuck out of here, really?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Does
I
anyone
learned
know
that
the
whole
lyrics to African Child?
across the mystic desert. There's a desert that is mystic. It's so stupid, but that song's funny as hell. It's catchy. It's catchy.
Talking about my bangers, my beans and mash. That's a good one. The
That
Jeffrey
is a good
song
one.
at the end, that one's good.
Oh, the furry wall.
The clap. The one he does in the
Oh, on the live TV.
on the Today
spot.
Show or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. That one's good. And there's
Call
a
the
couple
West Coast. Tell them they're going to have to trim the balls.
There's a couple, I think they might play them over the credits, but they're really only on the soundtrack, and they're pretty funny too. Now that was a good one. That was a good one.
The one from Forgetting Sarah Marshall when he's singing "Inside of You." That song's hilarious.
That's on there too. That's on there too. Inside you. I just went from 6 to midnight.
Inside of
Jonah
you.
Hill in that one was so fucking weird and funny. And Sarah Marshall, he was excellent in that. He was so creepy. I saw it from across the way when he comes running. I don't know.
Oh,
I think
God.
it's funny. I think it's funny.
It's great. It's great.
You're great.
That's a good one.
Crucial Taunt from Wayne's World.
Crucial. Wait, was that the name of Wayne? Who was that?
His girlfriend's band.
Oh, that's right.
Cassandra. Cassandra.
Tia Carrera's band.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I remember seeing that movie when they're playing Jimi Hendrix in the
cover.
beginning.
Yeah.
She's playing Fire. I was like, oh my God.
Do you know-
I wasn't ready for that.
Do you know that I heard that before I heard the Jimi Hendrix version?
Really?
Yeah, that movie came out in like 93. Yeah. I was a little kid. I had no idea. I had no idea. I didn't know.
Learned.
Had a
You
heart.
got an education.
She had a scream on her, Tia Carrera.
Yeah, she did.
Oh, who else? I feel like we're forgetting something pretty obvious.
There's a bunch.
Soggy Bottom Boys, I think, needs to be up there.
That movie had a wonderful soundtrack.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
song, that Command of Constant Sorrow, took over the world for 6 weeks.
Now, was that a real song that they just covered?
I don't know.
Yeah.
If I think that might have been
catchy.
written for the movie, but it was huge.
I kind of love that song. I never
It's
turn
great.
it off when it comes on. I'll put it that way. That's a good. They didn't.
Hot damn, it's a Soggy Bottom Boys.
Good thing your mama never seen you. She'd have died of shame.
Oh God, Charles Durning, he was great. But yeah, all the music in that movie was incredible. Like I used to listen to that soundtrack constantly because there's Alison Krauss is all over that record.
Yeah, yeah.
And the piece of music that used to just give me chills when at the end when they show up and they see that they got 3 graves dug with the nooses and the grave diggers start singing that like gospel song got to go to the Lonesome Valley. Oh my God, that song's amazing.
They sing that as the flood comes in, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like what a great crescendo for that movie.
Now that movie's, they knew what they were doing with the music on that one. They usually do. The Coen brothers are very good when they choose to use music.
Great soundtrack.
Yeah, and great scores when they don't have soundtracks, you know. They've done both. You know,
what? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
No, you go.
You
No, speaking of Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
The same 3 guys, right? Did you ever see... Did you ever see A Mighty Wind?
A Mighty Wind, yes.
And they had that
the
band
Folksmen,
called
wasn't it?
The Folksmen.
The Folksmen, like the herdsmen. The Folksmen.
My God, that movie is hilarious. And you talk about skewering an entire era of like folk music. You know, you just had all these different
you know
groups.
a lot more about that than I do, but yeah, God, that movie.
Like you just like Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara were like, you know, Bob Dylan and Joan Baez, you know, that angle. Then you had the Folksmen were just like this, you know, like skiffle band, you know,
Skiffle.
You ever hear skiffle?
Oh no, skiffle, no.
You know who maybe the world's most famous skiffle band?
Who's the most
Skiffle?
famous skiffle band?
He's not famous for skiffle.
Oh well.
But he was in a skiffle band. Was Jimmy Page.
Jimmy Page in a skiffle band, huh?
Jimmy Page was in
when?
When he was a kid. He was like 15.
In merry old England there?
Yeah.
The skiffle was a thing in England? Is that what
They
you're
had
saying?
this song like "Mama Don't Play No Skiffle,"
Jesus Christ! Really?
and then he went on. And then he went on to start fucking Led Zeppelin.
Right on. Was that Christopher Guest, right?
Yeah, Christopher Guest, the 6-fingered man himself.
Yeah. Also behind Best in Show.
Oh God, Best in Show's incredible.
I've seen that way too many times. I can't.
That's in my top 10 funniest movies I've ever seen.
It's just the deadpan and the straight face shit, and just everyone. Jane Lynch is so funny in that.
I don't know how
Everybody.
anyone delivered a line with a straight face in that whole movie.
They must have so many crack ups on a maybe not. I don't know. They're all so good at improv and shit. I don't know. That movie's hilarious. What's the other one they did? And
Waiting for Guff or
with that
Waiting
cast.
for Guffman.
I thought it was something else. No. Okay.
Best in Show, A Mighty Wind, and I think Waiting for Guffman.
I thought there was something else that was like an event based. No, I guess that's it.
That was A Mighty Wind.
You're a Mighty Wind.
Yeah, I've been called worse.
Otis Day and the Knights. That's a great band name.
Was that from Purple Rain?
No, Animal House.
Animal House. I'm thinking of Morris
Little bit
Day and the
softer
Time.
now. Little bit softer now. That was Animal House.
Yeah, that was a good
Marvin
one.
Berry and the Starlighters. You know who that's from?
No, what's that?
That's the band that plays at the dance in Back to the Future.
Oh, Marty McFly's band?
No, the band that plays in the 50s.
Well, yeah, like he jumps on stage with
yeah,
them.
the one he plays Johnny B. Good with. Yeah.
You guys aren't ready for this, but your kids are gonna love it.
It's his cousin Marvin Berry. Steel Dragon. I've mentioned this before, and you winced at me.
I've never seen this movie.
You've never seen this movie? Then don't you judge just because you hate Mark Wahlberg.
This is from Rockstar, right?
Yeah. I am by no means a blanket Wahlberg fan, but
So this is like based on a true story, right?
A little bit. Yeah.
It's the guy that wound up like replacing Rob Halford in Judas Priest.
Right. Right. And they like mix a couple stories together in rock and roll lore of that era. It's a really good send up of hair metal, you know, especially that particular Poison corner of it. and you know, it had its fanboys, and it's just kind of funny to watch these guys cosplaying as these, and you know, these dudes did it, and there were these cover bands in all these towns all over America. And it's also a cool, stupid, you know, really sharp trajectory, rags to riches movie. And if you look at it as like a sort of a I don't know, like as a comedy that's trying to not satirize, but I guess pay homage, a comedy paying homage to biopics, to music biopics. I like it. I think it's good. And it's got some genuinely funny parts, and it's got a really good cast surrounding Wahlberg, who does a fine job with this role. It's kind of one of the roles that's really in his wheelhouse. He doesn't have a broad range, but you know, boxers,
it's there.
Musicians, he can kind of pull that shit off. It's kind of weird seeing him.
Lone Survivors.
He doesn't sing. Don't worry, he doesn't sing. Yes, in Lone Survivors, he doesn't sing at all.
It's not his voice.
No, but the lip syncing is excellent. And the guy they got, he's from a band. The guy who does his voice was, I can't remember. He was the lead singer of like a middling band, but he had a really solid voice for that kind of shit. And he's at the very end. He's the kid that he pulls on stage at the end. And Zach Wilde is the guitarist.
What?
Yeah, Zach Wilde is the guitarist. Bonham Jr. is the drummer.
Oh, Jason Bonham.
Yeah, Jason. Is that it? I thought it was Junior. No, I guess not.
No, it's Jason Bonham.
Yeah, he looks old as shit even in this movie.
He's a good drummer.
There's a scene where he's giving himself a fucking blood transfusion.
A blood transfusion?
Yeah, they're doing because his father used to get that done. He used to get blood transfusions backstage to clean out his blood.
Jesus. John Bonham was a fucking maniac.
Yeah. So there's a lot of music and there's a lot of decent actors wrapped up in that movie. You should give it a try. Jennifer Aniston's in it too.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun one. And what's the name? The guy from The Wire is in it.
Which one?
The one who was in Warzone, Punisher Warzone, that I hate.
Dominic West?
Dominic West. My man Dominic West. Yeah, he's in it with a very curly black long wig. Looks crazy. And he had a British accent. He's rocking his British accent in this one. Yeah, check it out, man. It's fun. I'll loan it to you if you want.
Yeah, man. I'll check that out.
I think you'll like it. And just don't come at it like it's trying to be anything serious. It's just a fun, stupid music movie.
You are my blockbuster these days.
I try. Timothy Oliphant's in it.
The Oliphant?
The Oliphant. He's in the cover band that Mark Wahlberg plays in at home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he shows up at the end. I won't ruin the end for you because it's so cheesy. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I love it. Here's one that tell me about your favorite polka band from a movie.
Oh yeah, Gus Polinski and the Kenosha Kickers.
Oh yeah,
we had a couple
Kickers,
of hits.
Eh?
Yeah, polka, 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 polka.
No. We were big in Sheboygan.
Sheboygan. Listen,
do you know I read that he improv'd all those lines.
All of it.
And Catherine O'Hara did all those scenes just off the cuff. That is so good.
You know what my favorite bit of improv in that whole thing is?
What?
When they're in the back of the truck and they're playing Deck the Halls, and he's got a clarinet.
He's trying to get her to play.
Yeah, he's going, come on, try it.
Try
She
it.
goes,
He does
no.
it one too many
try
times.
It. He does it like 4 too many times. Like, number one,
Okay.
would you ever just take a clarinet from someone that just had their, wind instruments are gross. Anyone that doesn't
empty the spit valve or whatever the fuck it's called.
Well,
No.
yeah, a trumpet would have a spit valve. He's playing a clarinet.
I don't know.
Which doesn't have a spit
got a
valve, but it's got a
reed.
reed, which just gets wet. It's just like wet. It's saturated with spit.
Can you touch
That's how
it?
it works. So like
Can you
to
touch
offer
it with
that
your tongue?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's touchable with the tongue. I don't know. I never fucked with a clarinet.
You literally have to wet it before you play, like just like suck on it to get it to work.
I'm just imagining John Candy in the back of this van sucking on a clarinet for a couple minutes and just looking at Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, man, it's really, you can't play a dry reed. You got to wet it, and you don't wet it with water. You know, it's in your mouth. You wet it with spit. So he's offering it to this total stranger, and she's just going, no, as one should. And he offers like 18 times. Go on, try it.
Just imagine he's on a lot of cocaine, you know?
Oh, my God,
His
it's
inhibitions
hilarious.
are down. Yeah, that was a great role. They were both on that old sketch comedy show with Eugene Levy, right?
Oh, SCTV.
Yeah, the Canadian thing. Yeah.
This is a weird show.
Yeah, no wonder they did that so well together. Yeah, that's most of them, right? We had a lot of them. Wait, there's one more I know you want to mention, but there's...
Have you ever seen a movie called Frank?
No.
Okay.
It's just called Frank?
It's just called Frank.
When's this from? No, I don't know. I don't think so.
Maybe early 2010.
No.
2012. I don't know.
No.
Let's run it down. It's got Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Okay. The other Gyllenhaal.
Domhnall Gleeson's in it.
All right.
The son of Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah.
Scoot McNairy.
Scoot.
Scoot. You know Scoot McNairy?
Yeah, he was in that movie with Skeet Ulrich.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Give me something. You fucker. Scoot and Skeet.
Scoot McNairy. Do you know Scoot McNairy?
No.
Scoot McNairy. What the fuck was Scoot? He's in stuff.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear that show Halt and Catch Fire?
Yes.
He was in that. He was like the guy that's not Lee Pace.
Fantastic. Scoot.
And it's got Michael Fassbender.
The Fast.
Who plays the titular Frank. Frank is the leader of a band whose name I can't fucking say. It's like the Sonor prefers. It's just like a bunch of consonants, and they're like this mythical band. They're like really, people love them. They're underground, but they're supposed to be really good. And he wears this giant plastic head.
Okay.
No, you never see his face for most of the movie.
Bucket head.
He wears this big, like, fake plastic. It looks like a mascot head. And Domhnall Gleeson, like, he's a musician who stumbles on these guys, and he's a keyboard player, and he wants to join the band. And he's, like, struggling to start his own music career, and he finds Frank in his band and joins. And he's just, like, infatuated with the mystery of Frank, and he's trying to get to know Frank, but he's insulated from the world around him by this head that he wears. He never takes it off. And it's bizarre. It's fucking weird.
I'm not making noises at you.
And the crazy part is, like, I like the music they put out there, like, that this band makes. I liked it.
Okay.
I was like, that's a cool song. I like that song. And, like, Domhnall Gleeson, like, ruins it because he's trying to, like, control what it is they do, and they're, like, so free form and free about what it is they produce, and Domhnall Gleeson's trying to turn it into something that it's not. And it's kind of like a story about integrity versus popularity.
Okay. I'll give it
I
a
told
try.
you I think you would like it, but there's a chance you'll fucking hate it.
It sounds like it. Yeah, the head thing, it's thrown me a little bit. But I'll give it a try.
I liked it. I think it's a
about.
good movie.
All right.
But yeah, it features a fictional band.
Let me ask you something then. On the flip side of
what's
all
up?
this, can you think of a movie with a fake band that missed the mark? That they just sucked.
Missed the mark?
Yeah, the band sucks. The music sucks. Like,
I don't know.
Like, are there any shitty movies with shitty fake bands in them?
I mean, probably. Mm-hmm. I'm struggling to think of one at the moment.
Rhinestone.
Rhinestone?
Yeah.
What, like Stallone?
Yeah, I don't know if his character was in a band or if he was just like a solo asshole, but the music in that is very bad. I mean, despite Dolly Parton. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something else.
I don't know. I'm racking my brains here. There's other stuff, but I don't know there's stuff that missed the mark.
The music from Eddie and the Cruisers 2 wasn't that great, but it wasn't terrible.
Yeah. There was Sex Babam from Scott Pilgrim.
Ugh. Hate that movie.
You hate that movie? I like those songs though. The music's cool.
I saw that movie like half of it once in college because someone made me. I don't remember anything about it other than I hated it.
You know what? Okay, there
Should
is
I give
one.
it another try?
One.
Is that what you're saying? All right, you thought of something?
No.
What?
Maxwell Demon and Venus in Furs. Right?
Ooh, I've never seen this.
You have. There's
a
movie called Velvet Goldmine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they're spoofing like David Bowie. And
Yeah.
Originally it was supposed to be a biopic about David Bowie and Iggy Pop. And for whatever reason, they weren't allowed to do it. So they went ahead and made the movie, but fictionalized versions.
Yeah, I used to use this movie to make fun of Steve in high school all the time because he was a huge Iggy Pop fan and he was also a huge homophobe. Loved it. Continue.
But the movie, I like the movie. It's okay, but I remember the fictional music being not so great.
It's
You
been a while. I've seen it, but it's been a while.
Ewan McGregor plays the Iggy Pop guy. I think he's Maxwell Demon or whatever. And I think John Rhys Meyers.
Oh, really? He must have been pretty young, huh?
Yeah, I think that's who it is.
The guy from Twin Peaks isn't in that, right?
Which one?
You know the one.
Kyle MacLachlan?
Yes.
Kevin MacLachlan?
Yeah, the guy from Showgirls.
Is it the one that plays Paul?
Point of cinema for me.
Is it the one that plays Paul Atreides?
Yeah, and David Lynch's Dune.
Yeah, and then it's got a young Christian Bale who plays a fan of that. Oh. Yeah, Christian Bale plays a journalist who was a fan of that. That genre of music.
Is this pre-American Psycho or? Yeah, I guess it would be, right?
I think so. That movie's fucking weird, man. There's aliens. Oscar Wilde has a bit part. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't know.
But I remember I remember the music being meh. The best music in the movie were the actual covers. They had Lou Reed and T-Rex and other bands from that era.
I think the Cantina band from New Hope is way overrated. They kind of blow ass.
Do you know what the name of that band is?
No, there's a name to the Cantina song. What?
It's got an insane name.
Oh no! You think you told me this before? Is it mildly racist?
Figrin Dan and the Modal Nodes.
Oh no, I don't know what I'm thinking. The Modal Nodes.
Figrin Don and the Modal Nodes.
Fucking nerdiest shit I've ever heard.
Here's the best part. George Lucas came up with a name for the genre of music they're playing. And it sounds like jazz, but it's not. It's like space jazz. So they had to come up with another word for space jazz, and they called it jizz.
That's fucking spot on, boys. Okay, hey, what about the band playing in Roadhouse?
Oh, that was that was a real guy, Jeff Healey.
Yeah, Jeff Healey was real, but was that a real band or was it? I have no idea. You like that movie, don't you?
I can't remember. I can't remember if they used his real name.
I think they used his real name in the. I don't know. Maybe they didn't, but I didn't know if that was the band he actually played with or if they were just musicians standing in.
I think I think it was like actually Jeff Healey.
Those songs always sounded really good.
I need to know. I need to know.
You need to know?
Yes.
Well,
Oh, he played a guy named Cody. Jeff
yeah,
Healey's,
it was his
like,
band.
They changed.
It was his
name.
band. It was Healy's band. They played the house cover band for the bar. Okay. Well, that answers that.
He was great.
Blind,
Great
right?
guitar player. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He played on his lap too, which is bizarre.
Always? He always played on his lap? That's neat. Did he play slide?
Yeah, he would. No, he didn't play slide.
That's
He, like,
weird.
he would sit it on his lap, but he would play like regular finger style, but like just like
Well,
backwards.
did he press down on the fretboard or did he wrap his hand around it?
He would press down from the top.
Wow. So it's like upside down and backwards.
Well, it's not.
Well, no.
It's
Yeah,
not
okay.
backwards.
Well, your hand
up-
is backwards.
It's upside down.
Yeah. Weird.
It's fucking weird. I tried it one time because I
Yeah.
watched that movie, and like my dad had one of his albums, and because he was incredible, and then he showed me like Roadhouse, and it's like, look how he plays it. I was like, that
he's
doesn't
really
make
good.
sense. I don't know how anyone plays guitar that way. I tried it, and my brain melted. I never did it again.
He always had like Stevie Ray Vaughan vibes for me. I don't know if that's just a layman listening. but
Yeah, that was the style. It was like Texas blues.
Yeah. No, I dig it. I figured that's an honorable mention
Yeah, sure.
if it
That's
doesn't
an
even
honorable
count,
mention.
but that's a good one. Cool. All right. I really, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, I think there's so few of them relatively because it's so hard to do. It's much easier to take a real band and give them another name and have them play one of their songs.
There's
You know-
one. There's one more big one.
Oh, what? Did we forget something? Flight of the Conchords? No.
Wait, Flight of the Conchords is great.
Death Clock.
Death Clock is hilarious. Did you ever watch Meet the Ruddles?
No.
Do you know what it is?
No. It sounds like a kid's movie.
Meet the Ruddles was a spoof of all those Beatles movies that used to come out, like Help and Hard Day's Night.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was made by Eric Idle of Monty Python.
Oh,
Who
no. I
does?
never.
It doesn't look like Paul McCartney, but man, he like moves like Paul McCartney. And they spoofed every one of these like old Beatles songs from that era
Oh, no, I've never
as
heard of this.
as a fictional band called the Ruddles.
Ruddles.
It's fucking gold.
We the Ruddles.
Like instead of Get Back, they have this. They just like they spoof it. They're like Get Up and Go, Get Up and Go. Instead of like
Now,
I Am the Walrus, they have a song called Piggy in the Middle. It's really funny.
now, as a gauge, most, if not all, Monty Python stuff almost drives me to homicide. So, with that in mind, should I watch this movie?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say yes because, like, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you one of those people that's like that thinks the Beatles are overrated?
I don't like the Beatles very much.
Then you might enjoy the Ruddles. They
Okay.
skewer the Beatles pretty hard.
I would like that then. Yeah, I'm not. I kind of keep that quiet. It's like people when they say they don't like dogs. I like dogs, by the way. I love dogs. I'm not so crazy about the fucking Beatles. I've heard all the arguments, but I just don't care. I don't.
I think you're familiar enough with the
Oh,
Beatles
I know 'em. I know.
that you'll get the jokes.
I know a lot of their music. I certainly don't know those weird deep cuts like those fucking Beatles guys do, but I think that's also another part of it. It's also why I dislike Monty Python so much. For a good chunk of my life, I just really fucking hated the people who were into the Beatles, and I really fucking hated people who were into Monty Python. And there was a severe overlap, by the way.
How are we friends?
I don't know, man.
I love Monty Python.
I know, but you have diverse interests, and you knew not to expose me to that part of you. 'Cause
Yeah,
would
I think I
stab you.
learned early that you didn't like that kind of stuff.
My wife says
we
I have no
bonded
whimsy.
over other shit. You don't have
I have
whimsy.
no whimsy. I don't know what it is. Why certain things tickle me, but other things that tickle so many other people, I just hate so much.
Yeah, you do have like a knee-jerk hate reaction.
I like the Rolling Stones a lot.
Well, you know,
I
like
like
that's
Elvis Presley a lot.
that's an age-old debate. You're either a Beatles guy or a Stones guy.
I know, it's a
so
cliche, but
you're a Stones guy,
yeah,
and that's okay.
I like the early Beatles stuff for what it is in terms of rock and roll. But as soon as that, like, I hate their psychedelic shit. It all seems like a fucking ripoff to me. John Lennon can go fuck himself. He's overrated too. And I fucking hate Paul McCartney, man. I hate
How
Wings.
could you hate Paul
I hate
McCartney?
Wings. I hate his stupid fucking face. I'm not saying he's not talented. I just don't.
You know
I
what?
just don't like him.
Then you should definitely watch the Ruddles.
Okay. Ringo's fine. George Harrison is a good man, or was a good man. And he was a fantastic musician, and I like his solo shit. But, yeah, I don't know. It might have started with Yellow Submarine. That song, I could grind my teeth flat if I had to listen to that song in a room for like five hours, maybe. I might kill myself.
That's not my favorite song, but they do have a lot of stuff I like. I'm a Beatles fan.
Yeah, well, you're a music fan, so you kind of have to be, right? But
Yeah.
I can be much more selective because I'm just a prick
You can like whatever you want,
who
man.
listens to stuff. I'm going to listen to Zakk Wylde before I go to sleep tonight. It's because I'm thinking about him now. And I saw that video of him just like fucking squealing for an hour and a half. And
You're just going to have that become the soundtrack to your next monkey dream.
No, it'll be so violent. It'll be so energetic and
It'll be a
violent.
scary
Dead
one.
metal.
Metal monkeys coming
Metal
after you,
Metal monkey, metal.
playing guitar.
It's a
You
Death
should
Clock song. Metal
Death Clock.
monkey, metal monkey.
You should feed that into like an AI generator. Just like
Like a
Monkey
song?
Nightmare. Monkey Nightmare video with Zakk Wylde soundtrack.
Monkey Nightmare Island of Beer and Fight. Oh man, Mouse Rat. We forgot about Mouse Rat.
Mouse Rat. Well, from Parks and Rec.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh my god.
Well, from a movie, we did forget about Sonic Death Monkey, but tonight will be known as
Barry
Jive
Jive.
and the Uptown Five, right? I think that's
Yeah.
what it was. It's close enough.
I mean, that's a tough one. You only ever get one song
no,
from
I'm
them.
kidding. Yeah, it's still a good
You
name,
remember-
though.
You remember the other name from that movie? High Fidelity?
Well,
The other band name?
oh, fuck. The
The two
demo
young guys.
he produces, right?
Yeah.
No, I can't think of it. It's funny.
They were the Kinky
The
Wizards.
Kinky That's a great band name. What a tremendous
what he's-
name.
That's exactly what he says. He goes, it's a great fucking
Great
band.
fucking name. Kinky Wizards. I love it. That movie is special. High
That's a good
Fidelity.
one.
Great music movie. Great music movie. Another amazing soundtrack. CB4. Do you remember CB4?
Oh man, crazy motherfucker named Gusto. That was a spoof of all things.
All things hip hop at the
NWA.
time. Yeah, man. It was Chris Rock and like everybody else from that corner of comedy.
That movie's funny.
I had to watch that for a class in college once. We were doing stuff about satire, and I don't even remember the point of the fucking lesson. All I know is I watched CB4 in a classroom. It was great.
Well, you know, if you're gonna here you just opened a can of worms.
No.
If you're gonna consider rappers or rapists,
Oh,
you know.
yeah. Fuck. Oh,
you have to
fuck.
consider the fake.
I've been genreist. Shit.
Yeah.
Well, we did
You
say
have-
bands, so that
You did say bands.
that denotes musicians and a group of them. Whilst Eminem in 8 Mile, I don't know if that counts.
yeah, you have to consider the one that won an Oscar.
Yeah.
You remember what it was called?
Eminem, wasn't it?
No, well, no, not that's not the one I'm thinking of. The one year there was a movie called
Hustle and Flow.
Hustle and Flow.
Hustle and Flow. That's a fucking classic, man. I
It's
love that
hard
movie.
out here for a pimp.
Hard out here for a pimp. I love that.
That
movie,
won an
dude.
Oscar.
That's a good fucking movie.
That was what the 3-6 Mafia was the song that produced that.
Yeah.
The group that produced that.
That was a good song. Terrence Howard was the lead in that. That was a great movie, actually. I'll watch that every once in a while.
So Terrence Howard played DJ.
Yeah, DJ. Yeah, smoke. The fucking accents, man. Those Atlanta accents kill me, dude. Jesus
Let me
Christ.
ask you a question.
Fucking, that's a good one. What else? 8 Mile, Hustle and Flow.
CB4.
Feel like we're forgetting a prominent one. I guess not.
A fictional rap group.
Yeah. No, yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. That'll do.
That'll do, pig.
And we are wild stallions. All right. Music movies. Next time we're going to go dig into biopics. We're going to do something on that for sure, right?
Yeah.
And then we got to take a look at scores too, because there's nothing more important to a movie than a score. And if
I am such a nerd for film scores. I love them.
like if you doubt it, try to watch any kind of dramatic movie with the sound off and just see how flat it falls. I mean, it's a shame you can't just turn off the music and just hear the sound effects, because that's even worse. Music is does so much to tell a story and to make a movie what it is. And there are so many great scores for us to talk about from movies from when we were kids, man. The 80s and 90s had some fucking just
Bangers, man.
Whew. Whereas I think in the 70s, there's a lot more songs associated with movies. And there's a few scores that stand out, of course, but I think in the 80s and 90s, both became really prominent in different flavors of films. And you can kind of draw a line, too, between movies that have scores and soundtracks, you know?
Oh yeah, you'd have to do a whole separate thing for soundtracks. There are some
we
epic
should get into
soundtracks.
that too. I mean, we listed a few of them on here, but God, man, there are so many great music heavy movies. You know, High
Yeah.
Fidelity's one. High Fidelity is really one. They have what, 2 fictional songs in that movie, but they play music through that whole. They must have spent a lot of money on licensing. Fuck.
Yeah, and like Singles comes to mind. Remember Singles?
Yeah.
There was a
Yeah.
fictional band in that movie.
Was there?
Citizen Dick.
Oh, Citizen Dick. Like Citizen Dildo, right?
Yeah,
right.
but like it had a lot of real musicians in it. Yeah. You had Chris Cornell, Eddie Vedder was in that movie, and that
right, man.
soundtrack
I haven't seen
was
that in a
just
minute.
the sound of Seattle.
Was that Matt Dillon? Right?
Yeah, it was Matt Dillon.
Yeah.
That was like
That needs a
the
rewatch.
the ultimate grunge soundtrack.
That really needs a rewatch. Yeah, there's not a good grunge movie. That never got its movie. That wasn't cool enough. Movies weren't cool enough for grunge.
Yeah, grunge was kind of like a flash in the pan. It was like a
Came and
couple
went.
years. It
Yeah.
came and went, but God, it was fucking awesome.
I think it's one of those things, too, that when pop culture finally caught up to it, it was basically over already.
Yeah,
And then that kept it alive a little bit longer.
it was like a thermonuclear explosion, and then it was gone.
It was just the pendulum swinging back from hair metal, man. And from all the other horrible shit in the early 90s. Jesus Christ. There's a lot of good music, though.
We went from hair metal to new metal, but for a brief moment, we had grunge, and it was awesome.
I'm going to go listen to a Korn CD.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, God. That brings me... last thing I'm going to mention. And this is related. This counts. I think I might have figured it out. Oh, I got it. I have it.
What? What
Fake-
do you got?
Fake band. Fake band that sucks. Queen of the Damned.
Oh.
Jonathan Davis recorded all the vocals for the band in the movie that was supposed to be Lestat's band. I think they were called Satan's Little Helper. Was the name of the band.
Such a terrible name.
And I think they just changed the name of the band to Lestat when he took over.
That's so bad.
But no, they got, of all people, like in the book, I mean, this movie was the blasphemy to all that is fiction, but in the book, Lestat did have a band in the 80s, and they were a hair band in the 80s. And he had like
Poison.
And he had like an Axl Rose voice, right? And they just, I don't know, they turned it into some weird quasi new metal horse shit.
Well, because it came out in like the early 2000s.
Yeah, right. And it had what was her name?
Aaliyah.
She died in the plane crash before this came out, which gave it all kinds of buzz, and everyone was like, "No, it still sucks." That's a shitty fake band right there.
You cracked it.
Yeah,
you cracked it.
Don't ever listen to that shit because, man, Jonathan Davis without Korn is rough.
I've heard it. I've heard that song. It's not great.
They did a cover of a Pink Floyd song that was not bad.
What song?
I think it might have been. Hold on, I'm not gonna guess. You like how I type? Oh, it was. It was Another Brick in the Wall.
Jonathan Davis covered Another Brick in the Wall.
It's actually, I believe it's Korn. It's Korn.
There was a cover of that song for another movie.
Which?
They covered another. It was like a super group. It was I think it was like a Faculty movie.
The Faculty?
Like a remake of The Faculty.
Okay.
And they did a cover version with like Tom Morello and Lane Staley.
Really? Oh yeah, I've heard that. I didn't realize that was Tom Morello though.
They assembled some supergroup, and Lane Staley was singing.
Yeah, and that was like one of the few things they were able to do before it all fell apart. Lane Staley died, didn't he?
I don't remember how soon after they did that.
It's called, you know what it was called?
Class of 99.
Class of 99. I was just going to say, I just remembered it. Okay.
That band was Lane Staley singing.
Right.
Tom Morello on guitar.
Yeah.
Stephen Perkins from Jane's Addiction as the drummer. Martin Lenoble from Porno for Pyros.
Oh, okay.
As on bass. And the guy from Collective Soul on the keyboards.
Jesus.
And
good name for that band.
You know how good that cover was?
Wow.
I hated it.
You hated it? It's not great.
I didn't like it.
It's not great. The Korn one might be better. I hate to say it.
That is a super fucking lineup.
Yeah.
And it stunk.
Yeah. We could. I wish we did a music podcast because we could talk about super groups. Because that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Shit. I'll talk about that right now.
I'll talk about that all damn night right now.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah. All right. Better to fade away.
Is it better to burn out or fade away?
That's a quote from two movies.
Wait, what's the other one?
High Fidelity and Highlander, both with high in it. What do you know about that?
Oh, yeah, that is from Highlander. Shit.
It's a Cosby sweater.
A Cosby sweater.
This vintage will fucking suck your nose.